This dining room once made me feel cramped, cluttered, and honestly, a little down every time I walked in. But I discovered you don't need thousands of dollars or a team of decorators to completely change a space. With less than $50, I turned it into a room that feels open, warm, and welcoming again. If you've ever wished your dining room felt brighter, more comfortable, and more inviting for family and friends, stick with me, because I'm going to show you simple, budget-friendly changes you can make today to transform the way you feel in your own home. As we get older, our homes become the heart of our daily lives, and the dining room should be a place where we feel relaxed, connected, and proud to welcome others. But over time, it's easy for the space to lose its charm. The furniture might start to feel too bulky, making it harder to move around. The table can become a landing spot for piles of mail, newspapers, and random items. And the lighting, once warm and cheerful, can fade into something dim and uninviting. It's not just about appearance. It affects how much we enjoy our meals, conversations, and gatherings. The good news? A few small, affordable changes can bring this space back to life. Today, I'm transforming this dining room without spending a fortune or calling in a professional. You won't need new furniture or fancy decor. Just a few simple, affordable changes you can make in one afternoon. These updates will make the space brighter, safer to move around in, and far more inviting for everyday meals and special family gatherings. Along the way, I'll share practical tips that work for any home, no matter your style or budget. And at the very end, I'll reveal my favorite transformation trick that costs less than $10 and completely changes the feel of the room. Trust me, you won't believe the difference until you see it. Step 1. Clear and reclaim the space. Before we can refresh and transform any room, we have to start with a clean slate. That means the very first thing we're going to do is clear the surfaces, every single one of them. This isn't about perfection. It's about giving yourself the freedom to see the room for what it could be, not just what it is right now. Let's start with the dining table. For many of us, the table is no longer just a place to eat. It's the drop zone for everything. Mail piles up here. Newspapers or magazines sit in stacks. Maybe it's where we keep the grocery list. A few bottles of medicine, a jacket draped over the back of a chair. Over time, we stop even noticing these things. But the truth is, all that clutter silently affects how we feel in the space. It can make the room feel smaller, busier, and more overwhelming than it really is. Here's what I want you to do. Take a few minutes to remove anything that doesn't belong on the dining table or the side surfaces in your dining area. This includes the buffet table, sideboard, or even that little cabinet in the corner. The rule is simple. If it's not used for dining or adding beauty to the room, it doesn't need to be here. Now, this is where I want to make something very clear. You don't have to throw things away right now. I know that can feel overwhelming or even a little emotional. Instead, create a relocation box. As you remove items from the table and other surfaces, place them in this box so you can decide later where they belong. Maybe in another room, a drawer, or a storage bin. This keeps the process simple and removes the pressure of making big decisions in the moment. Once your surfaces are clear, it's time for a quick wipe down. And yes, this step matters more than you might think. Dust, crumbs, and fingerprints can dull the look of even the nicest furniture. Use a soft cloth and a gentle cleaner that's safe for your table's finish. This part is almost symbolic. It's not just about cleaning. It's about marking a fresh start. And here's something you might not expect. When you take everything off the table, you may find forgotten treasures. Maybe a letter you've been meaning to read, a missing salt shaker, or even a little keepsake that brings back a good memory. You'll be amazed at what we uncover once the table is cleared. The beauty of this step is that it costs nothing, but the impact is immediate. Without any new purchases, without rearranging furniture, you've already made the room feel lighter and more open. That feeling of space, of possibility, becomes the foundation for everything else we'll do in this makeover. And remember, this isn't about creating a magazine-perfect dining room. It's about making your home feel comfortable, safe, and welcoming for you and the people you love. Once you've reclaimed those surfaces, you'll be ready for the next step, where we make the room not just tidy, but truly functional and inviting. Step 2. Rearrange for comfort and safety. Once the dining room surfaces are cleared, it's time to focus on something just as important, how we move through the space. Comfort and safety go hand in hand, especially as we get older, and small changes here can make a world of difference in how easy and enjoyable the room is to use. First, let's talk about chair placement. Over the years, chairs tend to drift closer to the table and sometimes even get wedged against other furniture. This can make it awkward to pull them out or create tight spaces that are tricky to navigate. Start by stepping back and looking at the room as a whole. Imagine you're walking in with a tray of food or welcoming guests. Are there spots where you'd have to twist, shuffle, or squeeze through? If so, that's your clue that things need to be shifted. Pull each chair back just enough so that it's easy to slide in and out without bumping into anything else. If your table is large and the room is smaller, consider removing an extra chair or two when they're not in use. You can always bring them back for family gatherings, but keeping only what you use daily will instantly open up the space. Next, let's think about mobility needs. If you or someone in your home uses a cane, walker, or wheelchair, it's important to make sure there's a clear path through the dining room without sharp turns or narrow gaps. A general rule is to aim for at least 3 feet of open walkway around the table. That space makes it easier to move safely and reduces the risk of bumping into furniture or tripping. Sometimes, improving movement flow is as simple as shifting the table slightly to one side or angling it differently in the room. It doesn't have to be perfectly centered if a small adjustment makes it easier for you to get around comfortably. Finally, let's address something that's often overlooked: chair stability and noise. Over time, chairs can become a little wobbly or hard to slide, especially on smooth floors. This is where felt pads or non-slip pads come in. They're inexpensive, easy to apply, and can prevent scratches while making it easier to move chairs without sudden jerks or loud scraping sounds. For anyone with balance concerns, reducing that sudden resistance when moving a chair can be a big safety improvement. This step isn't about buying new furniture or making major changes. It's about arranging what you already have in a way that works for your life right now. When the dining room is easy to move through, you'll find yourself wanting to use it more, whether it's for meals, crafts, or simply enjoying a cup of tea. And here's something you might not expect: rearranging for comfort and safety can actually make the room feel bigger. Open pathways naturally draw the eye around the space, creating a sense of flow and openness. You'll feel less boxed in and more free to enjoy the room without worrying about bumping into things. By the end of this step, you've not only made your dining room look better, you've made it work better for your needs. That's the heart of a successful makeover, creating a space that feels good and functions well every single day. In the next step, we'll take that fresh, open space and make it brighter and more uplifting. And you might be surprised at how affordable those changes can be. Step 3. Budget-friendly brightening. Now that your dining room is clear and easy to move through, it's time to make it shine, literally. Lighting and color can completely change how a space feels. The right adjustments can turn a dull, closed-in room into one that feels warm, open, and uplifting, all without spending much money. Let's start with something simple: the table covering. Many of us have a habit of keeping a heavy tablecloth on the table year-round. While it might be beautiful or sentimental, thick or dark fabrics can make the room feel heavier and darker than it needs to be. Instead, try swapping it out for a light-colored, washable table runner. Runners let you show off more of the table's surface, add a touch of style, and make the space feel more open. If you prefer to protect the table fully, opt for a lightweight, neutral-colored cloth, something that reflects light instead of absorbing it. This single change can make the entire dining area feel brighter and less cluttered. Next, one of the most cost-effective upgrades you can make: replacing just one light bulb. If your dining area feels dim, it might not be the fixture's fault. It could be the bulb. Swap a dark, old bulb for a warm LED light. LEDs are not only energy efficient, but they also come in a range of color tones. For a cozy, inviting dining space, aim for a warm white around 2700 K on the color temperature scale. And the best part? This change costs between $3 and $5. But the difference in brightness and mood can be incredible. Here's where I'll add a little tease. Wait until you see the difference this $5 change makes. Sometimes, people think you need to buy a new lamp or light fixture to brighten a room. But often, it's just the bulb. That's the kind of small, budget-friendly tip that gives you big results without big spending. Another trick for instantly boosting brightness. Use reflection to your advantage. Adding a mirror or reflective decor can bounce natural and artificial light around the room, making it feel larger and more open. You don't need a huge, expensive mirror. Even a small thrift store find placed strategically on a wall can make a big difference. If you prefer something other than a mirror, consider glass candle holders, metallic frames, or even a decorative serving tray on the table that catches the light. This step isn't just about looks, it's about how light affects our mood. A brighter dining room feels more welcoming and energizing, making it a place you want to spend more time. For seniors, good lighting also means better visibility, which can help prevent accidents and make activities like reading, playing cards, or doing puzzles more enjoyable. Here's the best part: these changes don't require a big investment of money or time. You can do all three in under an hour. Swap the table covering, change the bulb, and add one reflective element. Each improvement builds on the others, giving you a dining room that not only looks better, but also feels lighter and more joyful. By the time you've made these budget-friendly brightening updates, you'll notice something. The dining room isn't just cleaner and more functional, it's starting to come alive. And that's exactly what we want. Next, we'll add the personal touches that give the space heart and make it truly yours. This is where the dining room stops being just a room and starts becoming a place you can't wait to share with the people you love. Step 4. Add meaningful touches. Now that your dining room is clean, open, and bright, it's time to make it truly feel like your space. This step is all about adding warmth, personality, and a sense of connection without spending a dime. Often, it's the smallest, most personal touches that make a room feel alive and welcoming. One of the easiest ways to do this is to display a small family photo. You don't need to create a gallery wall or cover every surface. Just choose one image that makes you smile every time you see it. It might be a photo of a holiday meal, a candid snapshot of your grandchildren, or even a vintage picture from your own childhood. Place it somewhere that catches your eye when you walk into the room, like a sideboard, shelf, or small corner of the table. Every time you see it, it will add warmth and meaning to the space. Another simple touch: fresh flowers. You don't need an expensive bouquet. Even a few stems from your garden or a bunch from the grocery store can make a big difference. If fresh flowers aren't practical, consider a small plant, or even a sprig of greenery in a simple vase. The goal is to add a bit of life and nature to the room. Plants and flowers naturally lift our mood and bring a softness to the space that can't be matched by furniture or lighting alone. If flowers or plants aren't your style, a bowl of fresh fruit is a wonderful alternative. Not only does it add a splash of color, but it also doubles as something you'll actually use. A simple white or glass bowl with apples, lemons, or oranges can brighten the room instantly. And because it's edible, it won't just sit there collecting dust. The key here is to use what you already own. Look around your home for items that could add beauty and meaning to your dining room without costing a penny. Maybe you have a decorative serving dish tucked away in a cupboard, or a small heirloom that could be displayed. Often, we forget about these treasures because they're stored out of sight. Bringing them into your daily space not only decorates the room, but also allows you to enjoy them every day. What's beautiful about this step is that it's deeply personal. No two dining rooms will end up looking the same, because your meaningful touches are unique to your life and your story. And that's what makes the space truly special. It's not just stylish, it's yours. I've seen time and time again how adding these small personal elements can change the way people feel about their homes. A dining room without personal touches can feel like any other room. But once you add those meaningful details, it becomes a place where stories are shared, laughter echoes, and memories are made. This step isn't about buying something new or following a design trend. It's about celebrating the life you've lived and the people you love. When you walk into your dining room and see reminders of happy moments, it makes the space feel warm and welcoming, not just for guests, but for you every single day. Now that we've cleared the clutter, improved safety, brightened the space, and added personal warmth, it's time for the most satisfying part, the big reveal. This is where you'll see just how far the room has come and feel the emotional lift of having a dining room you truly love spending time in. Step 5. My $10 magic trick. Throughout this makeover, I've been dropping little hints about one final change, something small, simple, and under $10 that has the power to completely shift the feel of your dining room. This is my secret weapon, the one thing I almost always add at the end of a room refresh. And the reason I call it my magic trick is because it never fails to make people say, "Wow, here's the beauty of it." You don't need to visit a high-end store or spend a fortune. In fact, my favorite places to find it are thrift stores, dollar shops, or even yard sales. The idea is to choose one standout decor piece, something that catches your eye and instantly adds personality or elegance to the space. For me, in this makeover, that piece was a beautiful glass vase I found for $4 at a local thrift store. It had a simple but graceful shape, and when I placed it on the dining table with a single stem of greenery, the entire room seemed to come together. It added height, reflected light, and gave the table a focal point without feeling cluttered. Here's why this step works so well. It's not about the object itself, but about intentional placement. By introducing one visually interesting item, you draw the eye to a specific spot in the room, creating a sense of design and completeness. And because you're limiting yourself to a small budget, it forces creativity. You'll find yourself scanning for textures, shapes, and colors that complement what you already have rather than feeling pressured to buy a matching set or follow a trend. This magic trick can take many forms depending on your style and what you find. A vintage ceramic bowl filled with seasonal fruit, a candle holder with a soft, flickering LED candle, a small framed print with colors that brighten the room, a decorative serving tray that organizes and displays items beautifully. The important thing is that it's special. It should make you feel good every time you see it, and it should stand out just enough to give the room personality without overwhelming it. And remember, because it's budget-friendly, you can swap it out seasonally or whenever you want a fresh look. Maybe in spring you have a bright floral piece, in autumn something with warm tones, and in winter a sparkling accent. This flexibility keeps your dining room feeling alive and ever-changing, without the expense of constant redecorating. Now that this final piece is in place, step back and take a look around. You've gone from cramped and cluttered to open, bright, safe, and deeply personal, all without breaking the bank. This $10 edition isn't just decoration. It's the exclamation mark at the end of your transformation story. I still remember the first time my grandchildren came over after I gave the dining room a quick refresh. Nothing fancy, nothing expensive, just a few thoughtful changes. But the moment they sat down, something shifted. They lingered longer, telling stories, laughing, and asking for just one more round of dessert. The space felt lighter, warmer, and somehow more inviting. That day reminded me of something important. A beautiful dining room isn't about how much you spend. It's about how it makes people feel. And when a room feels like home, safe, comfortable, and filled with love, it becomes the place where memories are made. The good news? You can create that feeling too, starting with what you already have. This is the same dining room, but now it feels open, bright, and welcoming. The heavy, cluttered feeling is gone, replaced by a space that makes you want to sit down and enjoy it. And the best part? It didn't take expensive furniture, a designer, or weeks of work. Just a few simple changes, a clear table, safer layout, better lighting, and a touch of personal warmth completely transformed it. This proves you don't need a big budget to create a room you love. All it takes is a fresh perspective, a little creativity, and the willingness to start. Now, imagine what one afternoon could do for your favorite room. What's one room in your home you'd love to refresh without spending a fortune? Share it in the comments below. Your idea might inspire my next video. And if this gave you even one idea for your space, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe. I share simple, budget-friendly transformations, made especially for life after 60, and you won't want to miss what's coming next.